Good morning, students. Today we will be discussing about program number 5 regarding merge sort. We'll see the question first. Okay, read the question number 5. Sort a given set of n integer elements using merge sort and compare its time complexity. So how we have done the quick sort in the last class, in the same way, the same thing it is asking you to implement using merge sort. So look into the question, previous question number 4. The only difference is instead of quicksort, the question number 5 is asking you to do the operation using merge sort. Okay, anyway, I will read the question completely. Sort a given set of n integer elements using merge sort method and compute its time complexity. Run the program for varied values of n which is greater than 5000 and record the time taken to sort. Plot the graph of the time taken versus n on a graph sheet. The elements can be read from a file or it can be generated using random number generator. Demonstrate using Java how the divide and conquer method works along with its time complexity analysis, worst case, average case and best case scenarios. Okay. So what is doing in the merge sort we have discussed in the theory class. Only the implementation part we need to discuss now. This is actually happening in the merge sort. So whatever be the array you are having, so that will be dividing into half of the original size in each of the iteration until it reaches one single element. One single element is the smallest problem in the divide and conquer strategy for the sorting because one single element is already sorted. So divide phase is what it is doing. It is every time it is just dividing the array into half of the original size. That is the division phase. Then the merge phase will be starting. What is happening in the merge phase? In the merge phase, it is combining the solution. That is like 2 and 5 are the two sorted arrays that are merging and generating a new sorted array which is having both the elements of uh, the other sorted arrays like 2 and 5. Altogether, the values will also be sorted. Similarly, the other values are also merging 4 and 7 and 1 and 3, 2 and 6. Those values are also merging. And what is the logic for that? We have discussed in the last class. How that logic is working, we have seen. This is the way it was working. We are having I index as well as the j index. I is pointing to the first element or a first index of the first sorted array and the j is indicating to the first index of the second sorted array. Then the ith location value and the jth location value will be comparing and whichever is the smallest one that will be copying into the resultant array A and then from which array I have taken the element, its own corresponding pointers will be incrementing or the I index values will be incrementing. All the time, one value will be added to the resultant array, so its index value should increase all the cases. Okay. If from B I have copied an element to A, then I pointer or I index should increment. Or if the element is taken from C to A, then the J pointer should increment. So this is what the basic logic of merging. So at the end, you will be getting the final resultant array, which will be having all the elements in the sorted way. Are you clear with this logic? Yes or no? Please respond. This is not like your theory class. Just only 20 no, only 15 has joined. So 15 students were there. So if you are not comfortable, you can ask me now. We will have enough time for explaining it again and again. Are you clear with this logic?
Yeah, ma'am.
Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So then I am not explaining too much about the logical part, and it was asking about the best case, worst case, and average case scenarios of this. So that also in the last class we have discussed. In all the cases, it was giving the complexity value was theta of n log n. This is what we have seen in the last class. Theta of n log n will be the value which will be giving the maximum number of in the best case, worst case, and average case, the merge sort is giving the complexity as theta of n log n. Okay. So coming into the what may be the best case and what may be the worst case or what may be the average case. Actually, while doing the division operation will be common for all because until it reaches one single element, uh, we have to continue the process like the division operation. But only difference is coming in the merging operation. When the merging operation will be with the happen. So for example, look into the case number one. I am just keeping few elements randomly. So the elements are 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6. If assume that this is the case, and this is your array B, and this is the array C. Then I want a resultant array A. So in this case, how many comparisons are required for generating the final array or getting the final array? I know the final array will be having 6 elements. Both the arrays elements will be present. So what is the first key comparison will be happening? You know that this 1 and 4 will be comparing. 1 is the smallest one, so 1 will be copied. Then 2 and 1 will be incrementing, 2 and 4 will be comparing, again 2 will be smaller, so 2 will be copying. Then 3 and 4 will be comparing because that is the 2 has taken, so next index will be this one. So 3 and 4 will be comparing, then 3 is the smallest one. So 3 will be copying. Then the remaining elements, that means one array completely got over. In that case, as I mentioned you, the other array will be completely copying to the resultant array. This is the logic. If one of the array was completely got over, then no key comparison is happening. Whatever is left out in the other array will be directly copying to the resultant array. So that means the other array is having the values 4, 5, 6, and that will be directly copying to the resultant array. Okay. So in this case, you can see that out of 6 elements, only 3 key comparisons I have done and I got the resultant array. This is the case 1. And what is the case 2? I am just drawing another scenario. The another scenario is telling me again 3 elements. I am keeping it as 1, 3, 5, and another array will be having the values as 4, 4, 6. Okay. So in this case, you see again the same thing. Number of elements are same in both the arrays. Only the number order has changed. We'll see how this will be working. So to the final array, how the elements will be coping. One will be coming 1, 2, 3, 4. So the elements will be coping one by one. So 1 and 2 will be comparing. 1 is the smaller one, so it has taken out. Then 3 and 2 will be comparing because 1 has taken, its pointer has incremented. So 3 and 2 will be comparing. 2 is the smaller one, 2 has taken out. Then 4 and 3 has compared because 2 has taken, its pointer has incremented. So 2 and 4 has compared. So which is the element? The 3 is the smallest element. So 3 has copied down. Next is 5 and 4 will be compared. So 4 is the smallest one, 4 has copied. And then 4 is incremented to 6 because 4 has taken, the next index is 6. So 5 and 6 has compared. In this case, which is the smallest one? 5 is the smallest one. And then one array completely got over, that is this array 1, 3, 5 has already copied. And other array 2 and 4 has taken out. Only 6 is left over, that 6 will be directly copied. So this is the logic for doing it. In this case, how many comparisons I have done? You can see I am counting the comparison is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 comparison is done for the array of 6. That is why while explaining I was mentioning in the worst case scenario, this is the worst case scenario, the maximum number of key comparison has performed over here. You can see for 6 elements array, altogether 6 elements array, it was taken a 5 key comparison, which is the worst case. All elements are compared with all other elements in the other array. So in this case, 5 comparison has performed. Only one element has directly copied to the resultant array. Look into the other case. In the other case, one array is having only the elements which are smaller than the other array elements. So only 3 key comparison has performed for getting the final resultant array. So this will be acting as the best case scenario for the merge sort, and this will be acting as the worst case scenario for the quick sort, sorry, for the merge sort. Why worst case? This is the one which was taking the maximum time for the key comparison. Okay, are you clear? Are you clear?
Yes, mom.
Okay. So this is the best case and worst case scenario. Now we will be directly looking into the question itself is asking you when you are referring the question, you got to know that the question is asking few more things you have to do. Maybe in the quicksort you have already done that. It is asking you run the program for varied values of n and draw a graph corresponding to that. What is the graph is indicating? It is asking you draw a graph, you draw a graph which was having the x-axis as n and y-axis as the time, and in different values of n, what is the time taken for doing the merge sort, you have to note down, and that value you can draw, you can mark it, and you can draw it as a graph. Okay, that is also involved in this question. So while submitting the solution, draw the graph based on the time what you have noted. We'll see the code corresponding to that. will take little time. Let it be. So few things you are in the chat box. If you are not clear, line by line explanation again I am giving it, but for your reference you can again use it. I will share it in the chat box. Just wait 1 minute. So the link is pasted in the Google in the chat box. You can just refer that. Now I will explain the code. The question is asking you to take random numbers or read random numbers. So that is the first part it is you need to do. So we'll start writing the code corresponding to that. Like the previous example, what you have done in the same way, you can write the extra code which you can generate a random number. How did you write the code for generating a random number in Quicksort? How did you write a code for generating a random number in Quicksort? What is the logic for that? How did you generate a random number in Quicksort?
A
Did you generate
random
any random
integer.
number in Quicksort?
Random
Random
integer
is a
equal to new
predefined
random.
class. Very good. So what we can do is random is a predefined class. So we can just create the object of this class. How can I create the object of the class?
Using new.
Random. Random object name. So object name I am just writing as one is equal to new random, which will be creating the object of the predefined class. If you want to use random class is present in which Random class is present in which package? So random class is present in java.utility package. So that is the first statement you have to use. Java.util.random. Java.util. You have to write. Then inside you, this is all thing will be writing inside the main. Already for the which one? The set creation also we have used band. Even also we have, that means program number 3, 4, 5 we are using the creation of random number. So inside the public static void main only we are writing this process. Over how can we create it? One in the range of 0 to 200 by using the next in function that I can keep it over here. Int p is equal to, so it is just generating one random number which is in the and it will be storing in the integer variable p. The type of the random number we are creating is of integer type, so next int will be giving that. Okay. So that is one thing, it is related to this program, because it is asking you the n value, maybe if more than 5000 value you need to get it. So means n is indicating the number of elements in the array. If you are telling like a 5000 value, it is manually giving 5000 input from the user and is not possible or not practical. So that's why the question is telling you either you can read the content from a file or you randomly generate those many values and store it in an array. Okay. So in that's why again with respect to that larger values of n, you need to calculate what is the time. So for n value is equal to 1000, what will be the value? What is the time has taken for doing the merge sort? If n value is 2000, what is the time taken for doing the merge sort? N value is 3000, what is the time? Like that you have to note down the complete time. So for that you have to generate 1000 random numbers, 2000 random numbers and 3000 random numbers. So all these things you can keep it inside an array by using a for loop. And so then in that array automatically the generated random numbers will be stored. That is the first part of related to the input of the algorithm. Then it is asking you to draw this graph. For drawing this graph, two things is required. One is the time. What is the time for doing the merge sort? How can you calculate the time for doing the merge sort? What was the logic you have implemented for quicksort?
System.nanotime.
System.nanotime we have calculated. So what is it doing is very good. System dot
Ma'am, I think your mic is muted.
Yes, ma'am, your mic is mute.
Okay, look into the code. You can see only three functions are present. So in this is the merge sort class. So the class name is merge sort. So the file name also I have renamed as merge sort.java. Inside that you are having three function. One is the merge operation for doing that what is merge, and then the sort, and then the main. These are the three functions it was having, and it is also having a static variable. It is max variable for creating the integer array. So the maximum size of the integer array I should tell that is given as 10,000. Okay, so these are the three functions I was having. One is the merge function, another one is sort function, and then the main as usual. That are the content of the merge sort. And you know that for generating the random number, I should create a random class. I have to import the corresponding package random class. So that I have imported also for just mentioning about what is the n value, that is the number of elements present in the array. I should read the value from the user. So that is by using the scanner class. So these are the two imports which was related to this particular program. Now, anyway, you know the program execution will be starting from main. I am expanding the main now. We can see what is there in the main. So this is the main function, public static void main. Inside that, what is happening? It is asking the user enter the array size. What is the array size? And that value will be reading into variable n. So the array size is reading from the user and it is stored in n. And those, that means how many integer values or how many random numbers I need to generate and should store in the array. Then I created an array with maximum size as 10,000. The variable has already declared over the top. So max was 10,000. We have given the value. So array has created over here. The declaration has done here. The memory allocation has done over here. So this is the way the integer array will be creating that we have seen in the program number 1. So the data type array name then is square bracket is equal to new, then the data type again inside the square bracket you have to mention what is the maximum size. So this is the way we have created the array. Then after that we need to generate the random number. So for generating the random number, that code already I have explained you. We created an object for the random class. What is the name of the object? It was written over here. What is the name of the object? What is the name of the object? What is the name of the object?
Generator.
Generator is the name of the object. So it was created over here. After that, we are generating the random integer. I showed you how can you write the code for that. So next int, inside that it has given me the value as a 20,000. So within the range of 20,000, it is generating a random number and it will be storing in the array of I. Then going into the main, what all are the other things? I don't know what all are the values has generated in the array. So just for my understanding, I am printing the value. What is the random? What all are the random numbers has generated? So that will be printing. So that I will get to know what is the content of the array before sorting. After that, system.nanotime has recorded that is for what is the current system time. Then calling the merge sort function, then finding the stop time or current system time, then the elapsed time has calculated. Then the sorted array will be printing. You can see the sorted array will be printing. Okay. So now the complete logic will be going for the sort function. So sort is a function which is defined in the merge class. We have already seen sort, merge and main are the three functions in the merge sort class. So for calling the sort function also, I need the object of the merge class. Until or unless it is not a static function, you need all the function called with the help of object. So in this case, look into the main. These are the functions it was having. One is merge, which is not a static function. Again, sort, which is also not a static function. Only main, that is the static function. So only main I can call from this merge sort class without creating the object. But other functions like sort and merge, I need the object of this merge sort class. With the help of that object only, I can call the function. So what should I do? I should create the object of the merge sort class. Then that object dot sort or object dot merge I can call. So that is happening in the main. We created the object of the merge sort class, and then the object dot sort the array we were calling. So the array what is we have created over here with random number, and its lower index is 0 and upper index is n minus 1. So 0 to n minus 1 value we have transferred to the sort function. We'll see what is the code we have written in the sort. Okay. So the control will be coming into the sort function. You can see here this is a sort, and array and lower index and upper index are coming. So it is checking a condition if low lesser than high. What is it indicates? If low is equal to high, what will happen, Kunal? Why should I check that condition? Kunal, tell me why should I check the condition while low less than high? Low is indicating the lower index and high is indicating the upper index of the array. Kunal, do you have any answer?
No, ma'am.
Kushala?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any answer for that? If low less than high, why we are checking?
That's comparison for sorting the array, no, ma'am.
Why I should check low is if low is equal to high means what? Low value is 0, high value is 0. What is it indicates? How many elements will be present in the array? If low is equal to 0, one single element. So that is the sorting is applicable only if the array size is more than 1. So that condition is checking over here. If low is lesser than high, it indicates that there is more than one elements are present. So you need to do the operations one by one. So low less than high is indicating the array which will be we are checking over here is having multiple number of elements. So you need to perform the sorting. If it is a single element, the array is already sorted. You need not worry about this complete if clause. That is the logic for the sorting operation. Okay. So low less than high condition is true. It indicates that the many elements are present in the array. After that, what all other things I should do? I should divide the array into half of the size until it reaches one single element recursively. So that is the task it is doing. Over here you can see the middle element will be calculating by low plus high divided by 2. That is the same logic what we have used in the binary search. So low plus high divided by 2 will be calculating the middle index value. Then low to mid will be the left sub array, the left half sub array, and the right sub array will be from mid plus 1 to high. So middle element index we have calculated. Low to high was the initial element. Now low to mid and mid plus 1 to high. So that way two arrays I will be getting. Again that is recursively calling the sort function. That is the sort function is recursively calling until it reaches one single element. So that is the condition we have added over here. This process will be continuing. The recursive call of the sort will be continuing over here for the left subarray as well as for the right subarray continuously until it reaches one single element. So after both this sort function get over, it indicates that now the array what we have given in the input is completely divided into one single element array. Okay, now the array whatever this is the left subarray has completely divided into one single element. Similarly, the right subarray has completely divided into one single element. Now I can do the merge operation. So what is happening in the merge operation? As you know, it is combining two sorted subarrays into a new sorted array. So merge array, again I am transferring three the index values low, mid and high to the merge operation. So what is happening in the sort? The sort is especially for the basic logic of the merge sort. There the division operation as well as the merge operation we have mentioned. Division operation how we have performed, if the number of elements present in the array is greater than 1, then the middle index I have calculated. Sorting, calling the sort function recursively until it reaches one single element. Then calling the merge function for combining the solution. So merge is what is happening in the merge we will see late now. So we have explained main and sort, and sort was calling the merge function. We will see what is there in the merge. So you can see here, this is the complete merge function. So merge, it is accepting the array, lower index, middle index and high index. So lower index will be starting from low, that is the first subarrays. So now the subarray has divided into like this. So the first subarray will be from low to mid, and the second subarray is from mid plus 1 to high. Okay, so now inside that many elements will be there. Okay, let it be like this. So what is the I index? I index is low. As I mentioned, you assume that this is the B and this is C. So B will be the lower index of this, that is I is equal to low. And what will be C? C is equal to mid plus 1 because that is the lower index of the array C. Then K will be, that is again a new array which should start from low to high. Low to high. So its index will also be starting from 0. So that is low. Low has indicated over here. Now we will see what all are the extra things we are doing over here. So I is low and J is mid plus 1 and K is low. Why I have written it as mid plus 1? You know that the array has divided in that order. You can see here inside the sort function we have divided the arrays in such a way, low to mid and mid plus 1 to high. So second array will be from mid plus 1 to high and first array will be from low to mid. So that is the logic. So now you see I am creating a new array which is called as the resultant array, or array is indicating the resultant array. So what is happening in the resultant array? This is the new array I was using. So this is not an example of in place algorithm. While discussing about the quicksort, we have mentioned like it is an in-place algorithm because only the rearrangement of elements were using there. We were not using any extra space. But quicksort is using, sorry, merge sort is using one extra array for doing the sorting operation. So resultant array is that new array which is used for storing the elements in in a resultant array. So that is acting as the resultant array. So we have declared the resultant array over here. After that, we are doing the actual operation. What all are the things I have to do? We'll see. While I less than mid and j less than or equal to high, what is that indicates? It indicates that I variable, I array will be varying from low to mid. So I should be lesser than mid. That means the first array is having some elements to process. And j is less than high. It was starting from mid plus 1 to high. So if it is not reached high, it indicates that the second array is also having some elements. So this while loop is indicating that both the conditions are satisfying means my both the arrays, the left subarray as well as the right subarray is having elements. Okay. So if the left subarray and right subarray is having element, what is the strategy we have followed? The ith index value and jth index value we have compared and based on the smallest value which is copied into the resultant array. So that is the logic. Array of I and array of j is compared. If I value is less, it is less value, then the resultant array we are copying array of I. And when the value of array of I we have added, automatically the I should increment because that is the value I have taken. In the ith index value I have taken, so I should increment. In all the cases, the k index should also increment. That is the first part. Now look into the other part, that is the else part. That means the array of I is a greater value and array of j is a smaller value. If array of j is a smaller value, then to the resultant array of j should copy and pointer j should increment, and all the cases as usual k will be also incrementing. So this is the end of the while loop. So what is it indicates? Once it is the end of the while loop is indicating like one of the array got over. If this is an AND symbol, so both the array are having the elements. That particular time only the array of I and array of j comparison we are doing. If any one of the array got over, for example, I reached the mid, that means the first L array completely got over. In that case, the elements left out in the second array will be copying to the final resultant array. So, while loop was closing over here, it indicates that at one of the array got over. Okay, maybe both the arrays got over. We don't know what is the scenario. So, anyway, one thing is sure that at least one of the arrays, all the elements has copied to the resultant array. So now I have to check which arrays all the elements are copied and in which array the elements are left out. That will be the next part of the logic. What is happening here? While I less than or equal to mid, after coming out of the while loop, I am checking what is the value of I with respect to the mid variable. If still the I is not reached the mid, it means that the I array is having or the first array is having few more elements left out till it not reached the mid value. So in that case, what should I do? Until the I reaches the mid element, because that is the maximum index of the first array. You have to copy the elements of the result array to the resultant array. So array of I will be copying into the resultant array until the I reaches mid value. The second case is the reverse one of that, checking about what is the status of j variable. If j is reached high, it indicates that all the elements are copied into the resultant array. But j variable is lesser than high means few more elements we need to process from the second array. If that is the case, you copy whatever is left out in the array of j to the resultant array. Okay. Now all the processing got over and the final sorted element will be present in the resultant array. So that we are directly copying into the array of M. That was the original array we were having. There we have generated the random numbers. So we have created a new array for storing this sorted elements. Now I am replacing the original array with this final resultant sorted value. From low to high, all the values of the resultant array will be copying into the final original array. There, why we have doing that operation? Because the random arrays we have generated in this array, in this particular array we have generated the random number. So after sorting also we need to get the sorted array in this particular array itself, because the value what I am printing at the end as the sorted array element is the array of I. But now the resultant array will be having all the elements what I have sorted. So I should copy back to the into the result array of I for storing all the sorted elements. Okay, this is the explanation for this code. If you are not clear with any of the line, you can just ask me. Enter the array size. Here you can ask for what is the array you want to mention. So I am just giving it as, we'll give a smaller value because in one screen itself you can see. But while executing, you can give larger values. So 8 I have given. So it means that these are the random numbers it was generated. These are the random numbers it has generated. And the time, elapsed time is also given as a 195809 nanoseconds as the time. And the sorted array is also printing after that. So what we need to do, in this case, I have given a smaller value. You can give a larger value more than 5000. So accordingly, only one thing you have to note down is the time requirement in whatever be the n value, what is the time that you just note down. Accordingly, you draw the graph. That's related to this program number 5. Are you clear? Are you clear with program number 5? Just tell me, are you clear with program number 5? Any part of the code, if I want to explain it, if you want I should explain again, you tell me which part of the code I should explain. If you are clear, you can write yes in the chat box. Okay. Okay, please write a question. Take a pen and paper, all of you. All of you take a pen and paper. Apply merge sort. Apply merge. Write down the question. Apply merge sort. Apply merge sort on a data set. Values are 2, 8, 100, 107, 58, 62, 10. You can can't read a minute. Okay, just leave it. Two, 8, 20, 15, 6, 1, 100, 54, 32. So this is the array you are having. Draw the corresponding recursion tree for the merge sort. So means what, how the division operation will be happening, how the merge operation will be happening. You write it on a paper. Write it on a paper. All of you do it now. I will ask you to project it. Two, 8, 20, 15, 100, 54 and 32. So this is the series. Apply merge sort on this series. Write your name and USN in the chat box. On the paper also, all of you write your name and USN. If anyone is finished, you can project it on the screen. You can project your own screen and stop presenting. So this will be considering for today's Viva. Okay, whoever has completed, you project yourself. What is the answer? Turn on the camera and show me the answer. It's not mandatory that you have to project. You just turn on the camera, project to the sheet where you have written. Sanath, if you finish, just project it. No need for writing your USN in the chat box. While showing the answer, I will note down your USN also. Do it immediately so that you can leave the session. Many will be sleeping. Maybe at least now the time is 9 o'clock. At least few people can wake up and show me.
Mom, is it visible?
Yeah, enough. Okay, Sanath, tell me your USN.
070.
0?
076.
Fine.
Ma'am, can
Okay.
I show?
Yes. Okay, Kirtana. Okay.
Ma'am, can I present?
Kirtana, tell me your USN.
Ma'am, 62.
Hmm.
Ma'am, can I leave?
Yes.
Ma'am, can I present?
Yes, Kunal.
Is it visible, ma'am?
Mm, fine. Tell me your USA.
68.
Ma'am, can I present?
Yes, Niharika. Keep little more light. Okay, fine. Okay, fine.
Ma'am,
Tell
can
me,
I present?
Niharika, USA.
75, ma'am.
Next one. Next person.
Ma'am, can I present, ma'am?
Lisha, show me.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine.
Ma'am, I'm done.
Show me, Mahalakshmi. Lisha, tell me your USA. Hello, Lisha.
72, ma'am.
72.
70,
Fine.
72, ma'am.
72. Mahalakshmi, show me one more time. Okay, fine. Tell me your USA.
80, ma'am.
Can I?
Yeah, Manish, I will give you a chance. Okay, Krishnamurthy, tell me the USA. Hello, Krishnamurthy, tell me your USA.
67, ma'am.
Okay, Manisha, show me.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, is it visible?
No. Yes. Okay, fine. Tell me USA, Manisha.
81, ma'am.
Ma'am, can I show?
Ma'am,
Who is asking now?
Ma'am, can I show? Leena.
Vasudha.
Leena, show me. Okay, Leena. Tell me the USA.
70.
Next one.
Ma'am, Kushala.
Lochin, ma'am.
Kushala.
Lochin.
Lozen, 1 minute, Lozen.
Ma'am,
Okay, fine. Lozen, tell me the USA.
73, ma'am.
Yes.
Vasudha, ma'am.
Who is presenting now? Kushala.
Vasudha.
Just okay. Tell me the USA.
69, ma'am.
Okay, next one.
Ma'am, Kirtana.
Kirtana, show me. Kirtana Mohan. Show it one more time. Tell me USA. 60.
63.
Okay, next person.
Ma'am, I'll show. Likita.
Likita, show. Okay, Likita. Tell me the USN.
71, ma'am.
Ma'am, can I?
Ruti. Okay, Smriti, tell me the USN.
77, ma'am.
Ma'am, can I
What about
show?
that? Maganti. Your hand should keep it somewhere down. Like it's already covering it. Don't move it. Keep it straight because it is blurring too much. Take a photo of it and WhatsApp me. Okay? Makanti?
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Next.
can
Maganti, tell me the USN.
USN 79, ma'am.
Okay, Komal show. Okay. Tell me the USN.
66, ma'am.
66.
Ma'am, Madhushree.
Okay, fine. Madhusree, tell me the USN.
78, ma'am.
Can I show?
Yes, Kevin.
Is it visible?
It is visible.
Okay.
Okay. Tell me the USN, Kevin.
I think I accidentally disconnected.
It's okay. Kevin, show me the USN. Tell me the USN.
65 now.
65. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.